What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about Protex Mobility, ticker is TXTM. I want to give you a good breakdown of what the data points are saying and also two things that might be coming out that should theoretically at least help the stock price. So I'm going to go over all the stuff you need to know. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get right to it. Currently at 0.0012, up 20%. It is very volatile, but there is a lot less volume. So currently there was, as of the 14th, 2.2 million shares being traded, whereas the average is 5.4, and that's gone down a lot. And unfortunately, it is largely because of this, so it still does have the caveat emptor tag on it. And initially, I did assume that it would actually get removed mid-January, but it does seem to be taking a little bit longer than expected. So once that does get removed, I anticipate a hell of a lot of big buyers getting in. My own thoughts on that, of course. But like I said, there's two things that I really want to touch on that could theoretically help the stock price of Protex. So as you can see right here, it goes over 3,000 cannabis leaders and investors to convene at world's largest cannabis business and investment conference between April 11th and 12th in Miami Beach. So in reality, this is pretty good. I don't know if Dr. J or Dylan is in fact from Protex attending this, which I do believe based on some tweets in the past, Dr. J does frequently go to Miami, so maybe that might be something that does work out. But generally speaking, I feel like this is a must-go event. And secondly as well, more specific to obviously South Africa. So South Africa to allow hemp cannabis production, which of course I think has been a very common thing for the last year and a half or so from a lot of big developments, but they're trying to capitalize on basically the infrastructure that they already do have. And obviously Dr. J does play a very big part in that. So in general, I think both points in reality should help the stock price. And you can tell that shorts as well behind the scenes have just been really getting out of Protex. Of course, with lower volume, it can only go down theoretically so much. So the fact that it is currently at 0.0012 is fairly very cheap, in fact, based on even the previous earnings. So at the end of the day, I think that once this tag does get removed, a lot of people that have been sitting on the sidelines just watching news such as this and various other things coming down the pipeline, but have been unable to buy it. There's a lot of pent-up buying or momentum, if you want to call it that, behind the scenes. And despite that though, I'll give you a quick summary on the technicals. Even though it's been barcoding for the last basically 2-3 weeks or whatever it might be, it's holding fairly good support, and I've taken advantage. I bought in at 0.0012, average down. I initially had it at 0.0014. I think it's at 11 right now. But Protex is actually one of those companies that I do see as a very good long-term investment. And unfortunately, I can't really say that with a lot of other OTC stocks. So Protex is definitely up there when it comes down to that. It just needs to really address, based on the last earnings as well, there's a little bit more of a gray area as far as what did in fact RSA bring over to Protex as far as that whole reverse merger. But hopefully that will be addressed, and that might actually be one of the causes or attributing causes to the caveat emptor. But once again, I'm not really privy or aware of that information. Looking at stochastic, it is currently at 27, so theoretically fairly oversold a little bit, but it's been like that for a very long time now. Momentum number retail investors are flat, but of course that's just very much linked to just lack of willing buyers right now. And RSI is currently at 43. So I think overall the technicals aren't as bad as what it should be, because there's only a fraction of the overall amount of volume. Because if we look back to when it was physically trading, you can see almost every single day there's around 460 million shares, 94 million shares, 112, and going back here, average now is 5.4. So this is complete pennies compared to what was and what it was trading at. So I think at the end of the day, like I said, this is one of those stocks, if you have the chance to buy, once it does get that CE tag taken off, this will rocket. But keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence at the end of the day. Let me know your thoughts on Protex in the comments below, and if you are able to buy or not, let me know. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that said, appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Protex.